Before we go, I got a funny story to tell. I just not thought of it.
All right.
A pastor, our former pastor, I might have told this already. He said that someone got some new dentures while they were attending his church. He said during the message that he pulled out his dentures and started a guy's pocket knife and started whittling on him.
Yeah.
I probably would have nearly lost it if I'd seen such a thing.
Did you so bad? I know, man. After he got his teeth, instead of wearing them, he put them in his shirt pockets, and 2 hours before he'd eat, he'd take the teeth out and hold them in his hand.
Uh huh.
He went to eat, then he put them back in his mouth.
Oh.
And when he finished eating, sometimes he'd rinse them off, and sometimes he wouldn't. But he put them back in his shirt pocket.
That's pretty good.
So it's I told you about them 2 old ladies that me and my guy I was working for.
Uh huh.
We went in to check on because he's related to them.
Yes.
And they asked him to eat, but he wouldn't eat. You remember me telling you that?
Maybe. I don't remember that.
All right. Well, it's years ago. This guy, he owned a farm. I had to go up there and stay with him a week at a time and work for him through the
Okay.
day.
Hmm.
His house every night.
Mm-hmm.
And he had some cows. And they was running a pasture field right behind, kind of behind their house. And we've been over there fixing up, working on the fence and getting some brush off of it.
Uh huh.
And at this time, I didn't know he was related to him.
Oh.
He said, let's go down and visit my cousin while we were this close. I could see him out in a little while.
Uh huh.
I said, all right. And they were cooking dinner, getting ready to eat their lunch. And the house was so cluttered, they only had a path, maybe 18, 20 inches wide. Get from the front door to the kitchen door, went out back around. And wherever they went, they had a path. Now, 12, maybe 15 inches wide, not much wider than that, Eddie.
Wow.
And they had some pretty good smelling food on the table. But there were wads of grease. They had one of them old wood burning cooking stoves.
Oh.
That was big wads of grease hanging on, like where they hang the pots and pans on nails. They used to drive nails on the wall, hang pots and pans.
Yeah.
That wads of grease, as big as your fist, hanging from them nails.
Wow.
Those wads of grease hanging from the knobs on the stove, on the corner of the stove, where the
Wow.
grease run down and got solid before it hit the floor and fell off.
Huh.
Everywhere you look in that room where the kitchen was at, there's wads of grease all over everything.
Wow.
And they asked him, said, "You want to eat dinner with us?" Said, "Be glad you have you." Said, "We ain't seen you in a long time." He said, "No, ma'am. We brought us something to eat. We'll eat. We'll eat. We get back to the car truck."
Sure.
But I happen to know a man that was married to one of them.
Wow.
There were three of them. He said somebody went in and killed one of them,
Wow.
and killed and robbed them. And one of them run off I never did know where the other went to. She went to some of her relatives. But anyway, they hunted for several days to find the one that run off.
Uh-huh.
We had to go to a home later that.
Well,
When the law was there, going through things to see if find any information, and they found checks, Social Security checks, they'd had for 30 years. They never had cashed. They found checks that were they'd sold calves and cows and things like that. Never cashed them.
that's something.
Besides money they had, the cash money they found.
Well,
All them checks they never had cash.
yeah.
$1,000 worth.
Wow.
Didn't know they kept them so long. They'd already run out. They could have been cash no more.
Yeah.
And I know the man that was married to one of them. I didn't find that out till years later. And he would drink everything he got his hands on.
Uh-huh.
More than likely, that's what separated.
Yeah.
A lot of time back then, they would put up with it.
Yeah.
That kind of carries on. For people had to work and make a living.
Yes.
And if we sit down and think about it, well, we can think of a lot more stories we've already shared.
Yes.
It sounds like a story, but it's true. It has to be true.
Yes.
But through it all, the Lord has brought us through.
That's right.
Think about what He has brought us through.
Yes.
He'd help us sometimes just think about get where it's kind of silent and still, everything's still.
Yes.
Begin to call back the things we've been in, where we've been, and the danger we were in, didn't know it, but the Lord brought us back safely through that, didn't get a scratch
Yes.
on the body. When under any circumstances, we should have been killed, lost our life or something like that, or
That's
crippled
right.
for life.
Yes.
He brought us this far for His purpose
Yes.
and give Him the glory. Even though we mess up, we slip up, we do things that's wrong, we say things we shouldn't say.
Yes.
But remember, He still forgives.
Yes.
And we still belong to Him.
That's right.
So, no other words, we'll say good night
Yeah.
and God bless.
Good night. God bless you too.
Keep remembering these good words we're reading
Yes.
and keep looking forward to the next time we sit down and get in His Word and the joy it is
Yes.
to be able to have eyesight
Yes.
that we can see that for Him.
Yes.
And the mind tells us they can read what He's saying
Yes.
and also listen at Him at the same time
Yes.
because His Word, He is the living Word.
Yes.
And if we won't hear the Word, we won't hear Him.
That's right.
It's just that simple.
It is.
So good night and God bless.
Yeah. Good night. God bless, and good Lord willing, if the creek don't rise, we'll be back tomorrow.
All right.